Hello, 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 and welcome back. My name is Sir Joust, and today we're covering the Paragon update, the new big thing, version 4.42, excuse me. It's called the New Dawn, and the whole reason I'm covering this like this is because A, you guys really digged it for Fortnite, and I wanted to bring Paragon back onto the scene. Right? I used to stream and play this game when I was a smaller channel, and now that I've blown up with Fortnite, I do want to diversify. Just know Fortnite will not disappear. I'm going to continue streaming that and playing that. I do want to have other options, you know? And I thought this was a good way to kind of introduce this to the folks who, to new folks who are looking for Paragon stuff, because I'm a pretty good Paragon player. And then for the folks who have joined my channel without even knowing what Paragon is, hopefully I can bring you guys into the fold when it's new. We're both going to be, all of us are going to be kind of starting from scratch. While we're going to keep our progress that we have made, this game is completely overhauling and changing. The overall gameplay, well, in-game won't change, with the exception of new items, which, we'll cover up here. You guys can't see it, but right here it says items. Iggy and Scorch is getting a huge overhaul. Masteries System is completely changing. Gameplay and events a little bit changing, and then the full release notes. A lot of it is boring, as you guys can see over here. Oh my god, the lag. But holy crap, there's so much stuff to go through, and I'm not going to go through everything in perfect detail. But if you guys have questions, I'd love to hear about them in the comments below. And yeah, let's get straight into this. So we got the New Dawn here with some flavor text. The sins of the past are swept away as the people look towards the future. All things become possible. All right, I kind of slaughtered that, but you guys get it. So they have a new way to build. And these are just a couple examples of some of the new items. So, I guess I'll read some of this. The New Dawn brings an entirely new way to build your hero. Devastate your enemies with 100 brand new cards. If you guys didn't know, this is Paragon's a MOBA, basically, but had this like new card system, right? Where in like League of Legends, you buy items. All these other MOBAs, you buy items that influence your play. In this, you buy cards. Devastate your enemies with 100 brand new cards. Explore the new gem system to augment your hero's stats and unlock unique effects. All of that is new shit. Level up your hero from anywhere on the battlefield with an unlimited variety of power. How will you use it? Oh man, that just sounds so good. Are you kidding me? So we have the Domain of Stillness, right? It's a group stasis. They have a stasis item that would just affect you, but group stasis yourself and nearby heroes for 2.5 seconds. What you guys see right up here is Gideon, and it looks like it canceled his channeled ability, which was his ult. Ults obviously are on a very long cooldown, so he just did some serious damage to the guy. Pretty sick. Next off, we have Veil Stepper. Smokescreen. Enter the shadow plane for 3 seconds after passing through the fog wall. So the jungles are kind of hidden by this fog of war, if you would. If you're a League of Legends fan, basically anything beyond like a bush, right, is concealed unless you have a ward in there. That's basically what this is, except for a jungler. This is kind of a huge, almost essential card that forces the enemy team to not only have heavy emphasis on wards, but also just not be able to play super overextended. Like, as you can see, this Murdoch, who this Chimera absolutely melts, isn't overextended by any means, but because you get 3 seconds of invisibility, he was essentially overextended. Next off, we have Glycerin Dawn, right? And I can imagine this being pretty good on basically anybody, but for example, we have here, Bellica is using it, and it's Fireball. Launch a Fireball, dealing 250 ability damage, so it's very good on mid lane. And burning for 200 ability damage over 4 seconds. See here, she drops her little bomb, and then he's getting away. She's like, ah, no, hell no. Throws at the Fireball, does initial damage, and then ticks over a little bit of time. It's a nice way to finish somebody off. Pack Leader, an unbelievable support card that I think is going to be ridiculous. Bullseye. Mark an enemy. Nearby allied minions will attack that target for 30 seconds. This is going to be insane in the beginning of the game. Absolutely freaking nuts. Because you get these massive waves, and then somebody comes in like, oh, I can clear it as long as I just don't hit somebody. Now, for 30 seconds, that person is the target of every single minion. That's huge DPS, especially in the early game, as I said, and I would say it's essential for a support to carry. Black Ice Routine. Ice Blast, dealing 250 ability damage to nearby enemies and applies a 250 move speed slow for 3 seconds. So basically, it's like an exhaust. It's a really sexy slow, so if you're a jungler who's melee, or just like an offlane who's melee, this card is almost, I feel like I want all the cards, you know what I mean? And this is just a small sample of the cards. As you see, we're back to the beginning. One thing that they did change was the way characters worked. So before, like I mained Grux and Murdoch, for example. Grux was Corruption and Fury, which meant he can only take cards from those affinities, the Corruption and Fury affinity. Now, the decks are universal. You choose who you want depending on who you're playing. So if you want to play a Grux who's Order and Knowledge, you can do that. But yeah, they all kind of correlate. Growth is still kind of the same. Knowledge was what? Intellect. Order is still Order. Death is Corruption, and Chaos is Fury. So they changed it up just a little bit, and I think that's going to add unbelievable variation to the decks, where before there was just kind of like the meta. So if you ran Fury and you were running you know, like an ADC or something like that, Madstone was basically a staple. But now this opens all of the decks for everybody to use, and you can, I mean, you can mix and match. So that, I mean, that's beautiful. They're also adding basically more abilities. So level up your agility, vitality, and intellect to activate gems, a new addition to the item system. Choose and slot 6 total gems to increase your stats and get unique effects during the match to use alongside your cards. So this can make, for example, they used agility here. You got multi-shot, ranged basic attacks to fire 2 additional projectiles, each dealing 80% basic damage. That's nuts. So if you're, as you know, an ADC, attack damage carry, your damage comes from your auto attacks, and you have this card, you're not only sniping down one person, but you're also killing shit next to that person. And I think that's great. Now I don't know if it's going to do like that, or it's going to lock on basically. Like, for example, you know, you have, if you just widen out the, what is that, Revenant and Gadget on the side, if you widen them out, is it still going to hit them, or do they have to be in that line of sight? If they're closer, are all 3 going to hit that same person? I don't know how exactly it's going to work, but I'm really excited to kind of find out. Vitality, ferocity, ferocity. Gain up to 42 attack speed based on your missing health. I think this is actually really good, so it allows people who are obviously losing a fight to kind of even it out. They might die, but they'll at least put the enemy in a position where the team can wipe up. Intellect, Spell Shield, block the next enemy ability. This basically is ridiculous. I mean, if you can see an enemy charging something up, and they all have animations, like as you'll see, this howitzer gets up when he's about to use his ability. If you can see that, and then activate your ability real quick, no damage, complete damage mitigation. That's amazing, right? You can go in and kind of bait them. They'll come in trying to get that last kill. They're low on health, you're low on health. You block that last ability, and you snipe him down just like this Wraith did. This is something that I'm not necessarily sure I'm excited about. It's called the PvE Powerup. You can now level up your cards by collecting duplicates, which with each level gained, the card increases in power. But on this side right here, like you can see the level going up, like level 6, now it's level 6, and then it goes to level 10. The power never changes. So I don't know if that's just a glitch or what, and you get like diamond foils and stuff like that. Players in co-op and solo versus AI, this is the only time it's viable, can use their leveled up cards and show off their collection. Card art changes as it levels up, with the foil version unlocking at level 10. So little color changes and all that jazz. Again, that power actually isn't changing, so I don't know how they're going to implement that. They have done a complete overhaul to the Masteries, and this is crazy. So before, it was just kind of like grind it out, you get level 10, you get a sexy skin, and then there's no reason to play that character ever again. Now there are approximately 89 more levels, so it basically rewards longer play for that character, and it was already pretty long, but the way they've worked it is so you level up with every few games as opposed to playing 10 games and never leveling up. So I like that. I do. I'm kind of excited to see what the rewards are going to be. Is it going to be more skins? Is it going to be cards? Is it going to be reputation? Yay. Or is it going to be more substantial items like coins? One thing that is guaranteed is a crown. That's right. Along with rival skins, hero banners, new taunts, etc. But the crown, I think, is really nice because it allows you to play any skin that you think is absolutely baller and then wear this special crown to show that you are good at this character. Like where before you'd have that red Mastery skin, which looked cool in its own right. Now you can have whatever skin you want, but also show you're an absolute baller on that character. I like that. Or more customization can never hurt. Overall, everybody's going to be attacking just a little bit faster. So, okay, I don't know why you can't see this, but why is that? Okay, it actually, I just made it worse. Anyway, there is a faster speed, and they have the exact numbers down below, but it is substantially quicker, which means the lethality of a character is a little bit, you know, more. One thing that's pretty interesting is everything you have learned and memorized about the game is completely changing. So every hero, tower, minion, etc. has new baseline stat attributes. So all those calculations you've done to get the perfect build are out the door, out the window completely. As you can see, they go up, they go up and down, and yeah, I mean, it's sweet. Also, little side note, basic armor can go below negative. So before, when you got to 0, armor pin wouldn't do anything. Now it does, which I think is pretty exciting. It'll make for like armor pin decks, for example, where you have like crit decks, attack speed decks. Now you can have like armor pin decks, just so, I mean, you're just doing absolutely nasty damage because you're shredding away every hope they had at armor. They're changing up Rampage just a little bit. Again, I'll get down in below and elaborate. As well as, I don't know if you guys remember the Grux Box banner event. So this is something I'm going to really strive for. So if you guys are interested in seeing me live stream some Paragon, I'm going to be racing for this. And I actually go out of town on the 15th, so I have a shorter amount of time to do it. As you can see, the event is from the 8th to the 21st of this month. And you can unlock these different banners. What happened in one of the updates, they released an update, and for whatever reason, when you picked Grux, he would appear as a box. Like, no shit, a box. He was glitched out. He ended up having to be removed for a little while. And instead of, like, putting that under the rug, Epic actually is embracing it. Somebody created some art for them, and now it's a banner. And that is unbelievable. I want it so bad. So there are specific changes going on with every single person. If you want to read these for yourself, I'm going to drop where I'm getting all this information in the description below. I'm not going to go through all of them. But as you can see, there's a shit ton. Everybody is changing. I will go over the economy. Okay, so this is gameplay systems. That's what's changing. Gold has been replaced. Gold has replaced card XP as the primary in-game currency. So a lot of people were kind of confused. What the hell is this Amber thing? And a lot of people played for a long time and they never even used the term Amber. They used CXP, which is card XP. Now it's just gold, which I like. It adds a little bit of clarity for newer players, and it's very, very easy, right? You spend your gold to buy cards. Very simple. Basically, everybody gives you gold. There's a passive gold drip. Amber links, I guess, give you gold instead of amber. I don't know if they're going to change it. Gold link, that would be weird, though. Kill streaks give you gold. Death streaks reduce your gold, and such, and apparently much more. This is a pretty big one. So the hero's maximum hero level has been increased to 20, where it used to be 15. Heroes still receive 1 ability point per level until level 15, and then I guess the last 5 levels are just for bonus points, bonus like defenses and stats. I do like that because what I noticed is everybody would max out their level pretty early on, and then it would be a lot of just kind of sitting around waiting for somebody to fuck up at max level. So having that ability to go past level 15 is I think a pretty nice change. So critical strikes have changed. Heroes no longer have innate critical strike chance or critical strike damage. So when you jump into the game, you're at a baseline of 0, which is kind of interesting. So to have any crit, you have to build it. I kind of like that. And then for each instance of critical strike, procs independently from blah, 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 blah. Bunch of math. You guys can go through that in your own time. That is not what this video is about. The respawn timer has been adjusted just a little bit. Again, lots of math, but yeah, they type it out pretty simple. Level 12 steel dies at this time in a match, and he's that basically that's how long he's going to be dead. Respawn time is capped at 80 seconds. I do like that. So I mean, at one point in the game, everybody's just going to be 80-second respawn. Armor, like I was saying, the armor formula has been adjusted. Armor can reach a negative value. If your armor reaches a negative value, you will be dealt additional damage from that damage type. So building against tanks as far as armor reduction is viable, whereas before it was just kind of like, okay, so maybe you can do true damage on the steel who's building straight up armor. However, you're wasting all of these points that you could be using to take out this Twin Blast. Now they actually carry over, and I think that's absolutely wonderful. It's going to give more value to armor pen. And again, math. Yeah. There's mana regions. River buffs have changed quite a bit. Decreased black buff damage from 100% to 60%. That's definitely going to keep black buff viable, but it's going to be less overpowered. Decreased red buff damage bonus from 25 to 10%. So overall, just buffs to the nerfs to the river buff, which I think is fine as a jungler. I'm still going to focus the crap out of him so the mid lane can't get it, because a buff is a buff. but I do like the slight nerf. This is interesting. Minions, reduced call for help duration. So have you guys ever been laning and you accidentally hit the enemy character and you're like, fuck, I didn't want to do that. It's like a Greystone or something. He even deflects it and all the fucking minions come after you forever, right? They're not going to do that anymore. So when allied player attacks an enemy player with enemy minions nearby, the enemy minions will aggro to the allied player. It's just been reduced. I don't know how long. I'm sure the numbers are somewhere. And if you guys know the exact numbers, I'd like to see them in the comments below. But yeah, I think that's really nice. And it allows you to kind of poke without the fear of getting hit by your minions or being, you know, dragging all the minions back to your tower. While as if you're trying to kite the minions back to the tower, which I personally do when I'm ADC, I try to get them away from the offensive lane. That's kind of a nerf for my play style. But hey, it's a buff for some people. Prime Helix. They have removed the Orb Prime cards permanently. And I like that. The 3 Prime cards were stupid. Prime cards will always give the same buff to all players now. Reduce the Orb Prime damage buff from 20 to 10%. And reduce the Orb Prime minion health buff from 25 to 12%. So a slight nerf. But at the same time, people are still going to want Prime because Prime ends games. Heroes can no longer lifesteal off Prime Helix. This is one of the biggest changes to Prime. Do not overlook this. If you're an ADC, you can no longer take out Prime by yourself because you can't get any health back. Now, if you're doing 4 million damage per second, yeah, okay, you're going to kill Prime. But you're going to pay for it. You're not going to be able to run back into the fight. I'm sure like 2 people, maybe a tank in the ADC can do it because the health regen post Prime death will heal you up by the time you get to the enemy's towers. But hey, just keep that in mind when you're like, hey, I'm going to go solo Prime. No, you're not. You're going to die. This is huge. Super minion waves. All minions in the super minion wave now deal 40% more damage and have a 25% more health. That's unbelievable. So before, when the enemy was spawning super minions and your ADC was just like pop, 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 killed the super minion, like shit didn't matter. Now it still matters. Those waves are going to be doing fat, nasty damage, which I like because it will shorten games. Because realistically, once you break an inhib, you're probably going to take the win unless it's a close game. I don't know. Overall, I do like that. I like that change. Kind of excited to see how it is in game. All right, all new itemization system. So I don't fully understand this, and I would love it if you guys helped me in the comments by explaining, but gold can now be spent on purchasing attribute points. Attribute points grant stats and additional bonuses upon reaching a major gem slot. So this first slot will give you, if you're going in the agility one, first slot will give you 2.25 lifesteal. You keep leveling it up, keep leveling it up, keep leveling it up. Once you get to the 7th slot, you'll get 5 power. And then once you get to the 13th, 12 basic damage, 19th 9, 25, 9 basic damage. I do like this. I think it's a kind of interesting way to spend your gold. I don't know if this counts as like a card or if this is completely separate. I'm really excited to just kind of see this in game and tinker around with it. But if you guys have anything to add on this, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. Something I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of. They said they're emphasizing the visual and auditory response from killing players. I don't know if I'm going to like that. So amber orbs have been visually changed to gold, so they're no longer orbs of the amber, they're actual gold. And a new sound effect has been added. The only sound effect I can think of is that annoying like ching, like money sound, like kind of like you're playing Mario or something. And then it says visual and sound effects are more obvious to players. So that's probably going to be the first setting I'm going to turn down. Yeah, I do like this part. The players will only see and hear effects when they get the killing blow. So have you ever been in a situation where you're fighting with your teammate and then you kill something and a bunch of stuff was happening in your feed, so you don't know exactly who just got the killing blow? Now you're going to be able to know, boom, right as it happens. And I do kind of like that. I do enjoy that. Some minor changes to the Raptor camps. Basically, they're increasing the range of their projectiles. Apparently, I didn't know this, but previously the Raptor camp would not deal damage to their target if they were at the projectile's maximum range. So I don't know exactly what that means, but they increased the range to it. If you guys have a PS4, I am sorry. You guys are getting updated controller layouts, so that's something you're going to have to relearn. Luckily, I'm on the PC, so this doesn't apply to me. If it does apply to you guys, hey, tell me how hard it is to learn. I would really like to know. I have a lot of friends who play PS4, so I'm hoping I see you guys comment what you guys think. If you're new to the game, I would wait to jump in. Honestly, I wouldn't download the game. Well, I download the game now, but wait, because there's going to be a brand new tutorial. It's going to polish and improvements. The tutorial they currently have is pretty lacking. It doesn't really explain the intricacies of the game, just kind of basics, which that's what a tutorial is for. But this is doing quite a few things. Yeah, Pretty exciting. AI is getting a huge overhaul. They're doing polish and improvements. Offlane and carry bots will no longer assist opposite lanes. So sometimes, I mean, the AI in Paragon has consistently always sucked wieners. They're moving towards a way to make them a little bit better. They're going to be going for the gold buff. They're going to, the enemy offlaner is going to attempt to steal your gold buff, doing things that normal players would do. They don't have anything in here about them being stuck on stairs. So we'll see if that's still a thing. They're obviously updating basically everything. The whole screen, all the screens are going to change. If you guys are interested, I'll do like a whole tutorial on the screens and exactly what is where. You know, just all you got to do is ask for it, or hey, hit that like button on this video. I'm not going to really cover it now because they're just saying like redesign scoreboard, replace the old card XP wheel with the current gold count. So just like tiny little things, as well as menu or reorganization. They added a bunch of tabs. They removed some tabs. Hero page has been changed, and the store has been changed. And then, as always, they changed the loot crate to all of this stuff. Pause the video and check it out if you so desire. And, well, I thought there was more, but I guess that's it. I don't know about you guys. I am absolutely pumped for this game. Specifically about the new changes, how they're going to implement the game. I'm going to have to completely relearn the card system. Like, I thought I knew it pretty well before. Well, now I have to scratch everything I knew and basically redo it. And then once I have a good grasp on it, I am going to put a video out for you guys, for the folks who don't want to sit there for a couple hours and really learn the intricacies of the cards and the masteries and all that jazz. So if that's something you guys are interested in, I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. I did just want to make this kind of a short video. It ended up being like a long video. So if you stuck through to the end, hey, I appreciate you. Seriously, you right there. Paragon isn't normally the game I cover on my channel. So by you hitting that like button, maybe sharing with a friend, or just coming back for more Paragon content will definitely make it a staple on the channel. Right now, I'm basically focused on Fortnite. I want to start doing some more PUBG because that video didn't do all that well as far as views, but everybody and their mother liked it. So yeah, you guys obviously want to see more. And last but not least, I want to hear about your comments. What you guys think Paragon is going to turn into. Do you think it's going to get bigger? Do you think they're going to consistently ruin the game? A lot of people said Monolith ruined the game from Legacy. New heroes are ruining the game. Are you guys as hard on Paragon as the haters, or are you guys a little more forgiving, saying like, hey, it's a game in development, every 3 weeks they're updating it, like, so it's kind of worth it? What do you think your initial thoughts? What do you think this is going to do to the game? Do you think it's going to bring in new people? Do you think it's going to be easier to learn the game, which is the biggest downfall of Paragon? A lot of people just don't understand it. I didn't understand the game until I was like level 20. That's ridiculous. I was halfway to max level before I was like, oh, I'm confident. So I think the change will be good. Personally, that's my opinion. We'll see how they implement it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sticking till the end of this video. And if you did stick to the end of this video, go in the comments and just say something regarding the end. Just be like, hey, you made that symbol. You made the AOK symbol or something. Because I'd love to hear who exactly made it to the end. I mean, I appreciate it. Seriously, this is a long video. That's a lot of your time spent watching a game that you probably, I don't even know if you play. Now I'm babbling. Gotta end the game. Gotta end it. Gotta end it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And hey, until next time, toodaloo.